3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? I'm here with James Ortiz. He made it to day 2 of YCS 300 with Crystron K9. Made the top 80, and we're going to give you guys the deck profile for it now. James?
Yes, sir. Crushed it day 1. Didn't go all the way day 2, but hey, making it to day 2, top 80, like your boy said.
Getting to
Not
day
too
2 in
bad.
general is just a big flex, honestly.
Yep, set a goal for yourself and work to attaining that. And then we did that in spades today. But I guess with all that yapping out of the way, as he said, we're playing Crystron K9. I'm playing a little bit of a more different build than what people usually do with the deck, but let's go and get into it. First, we have the Crystron package. 3 copies of Crystron Sulfador and 2 copies of Crystron Sulfefnir. Just with how I like to play a deck with a heavier Crystron package, I don't feel comfortable playing any less than 5 of these guys. Usually in a pure build, you play 3 Sulfefnir, 2 Sulfador, but this guy does some cool combos with the K9 guys even after the ban list.
So do you want to see him in your starting hand every time, or do you want to add him off another card?
That makes it both, really. There's some hands where it's like they Azuna or they hand trap early, you Azuna, tribute summon over it. Obviously the spell card, the Crystron Inclusion, that's where you want to get off of him. Or
Right.
Joker revealing Sulfador. That's a game-winning play on its own. The amount of advantage those 2 guys get you on their own, crazy. Next up, I have 1 Crystron Tristaros, the greatest to ever do it. 1 copy of Crystron Smiger, and 1 copy of Crystron Thistvern. Thistvern's a little bit funny. I like him just having a higher ceiling, but you don't have to play him. I'm playing 42 cards, and like I said, I like more Crystron cards. Scrap Recycler, good normal summon, and also the bridge between K9 into Crystron.
What does he do exactly?
So when he's summoned, you get to Foolish Burial a machine from your deck to the graveyard, and with just how the combo goes, you're able to do it twice. Usually some people use it to set up spell canceller, things like that. But sending like Thistvern and Sulfefnir, that's my kind of jam.
So how does this link into K9 specifically? Like what are you sending for him to go into K9?
So usually the K9's just between some extra deck guys we got into later, and K9 Milroy being a machine, you're able to have access to a couple different extra deck toolbox guys.
Oh, okay.
The Scrap Recycler's effect, sending a machine from deck to graveyard. All these guys are machines. All of them like being in the graveyard. It's like bread and butter.
Alrighty.
After that then, 3 copies of Crystron Inclusion.
Didn't this card just come off the ban list too?
It did. It traded places with some of the K9 package, and honestly, like, I don't know if I'd say this is the better half of the deck. This is the half that I prefer, definitely. Might be some different changes to come with cards later on down the line, but for now, this is definitely the winningest version of K9, or Crystron rather, with the K9 cards. And then rounding off the Crystron package, we got Foolish Burial. It's not bad. You can send Lupus with this too and have it be like working, as well as Crystron Cluster. Probably the best card, I would say, in the Crystron suite right now. Just having insane grind game. The Banishing Protection is notable. It helps against things like Malice sometimes, but that didn't come up in my match against Malice this weekend, but that just about rounds out the Crystron part of the deck. So let's go ahead, set this aside. And we'll go ahead and go to the K9s next. 3 copies of K9 Uzuna. If your opponent hand traps you too early, she gets the combo starting of her own, and she's just a wonderful hand trap going second. 3 cards of K9 Noroi. This card, I can't put into words how powerful she was this entire weekend. Just like being able to threaten looking at the opponent's hand. So many of my opponents conceded the game and went to the game 2 right after that.
Would you say that Noroi is worthy to be hit on the next list? Has she got a big target on her back right now?
I'd say definitely so. K9, I think we still need to wait for the dust to settle to see what all the results for Richmond and then as well as Guadalajara, I believe, and Dortmund. These cards are busted though. The K9 guys are crazy. And then rounding them off for the monster count, we've got 2 copies of Lantern, the freshly limited Jokul, and Lupus. With Jokul being limited, she definitely is the strongest 2-card combo with Sulfador, as I'd mentioned earlier. So Lantern has to carry up the slack a little bit. So you use Lantern, search your copy of Case for K9, get Jokul, get Lantern back. Lots of moving pieces. And then Lupus, he's just broken. If your opponent doesn't have an answer to him, pretty much every turn is just a free level 5 body coming back for Xyz plays.
Is there a reason you're not playing more than 1 case for K9? Is it just for deck space?
No. Both of these ban lists.
That got put to 1 recently. I forgot I got put to 1.
And Jokul. But to help remedy that, we played 2 Chaotic Elements. Most lists play 3 to maximize the amount of effective copies of Jokul you have. I just preferred having the Foolish Burial with more options, as well as I was playing K9 Force Release. Notably, if you've not noticed, you have not main decking Spell Canceller in this list, so I've been wanting to play more Engine. So we'll get into that in a little bit with the extra deck guys to see that in just a moment. But let's pack away the canines. And let's go to our main deck non-engine. First and foremost, one Nibiru. It's maybe not right, but it's just when he's bad, he's good. When he's great, he's better. I just like having one copy of the Rock as a Hail Mary. 3 copies of Fuelos, almost like format tax. 3 copies of Ash, same thing with these guys. And then here's where it gets a little bit more format dependent. I ended up choosing 2 Bell, 3 Forbidden Droplet, and 2 Impermanents to round out my non-engine space. Just trying to size up my options to see what the best approach I could have to the format was. Ultimately, this is really teched out against Radiant Typhoon and Dracotail branded. And definitely in day 1, this worked against those, with more of my boogeyman matchup being Vanquishal Canine, which I lost to 3 times in day 2. But that's what having a bunch of great friends is for, doing your homework and seeing what does, doesn't, and could work with your list. But that's it for the main deck. Let's get on to this extra deck. 1 copy of Crystron Eleskeletus, greatest to ever do it. Gets your Tristaro set up, recurs your cluster, and honestly having the stat change effect helps too, just sometimes hitting over things is enough for this format. Dawn Dragster, Spell Trap Negate, becomes a level 5 after a negate, so you can do some funny plays with Lupus as well. Playing Ripper, Jax, and Werewolf. Ripper, she's self-explanatory, just one of the strongest extra deck monsters to make right now. Jax is unique. He's pretty good at just having it, like if you start with, like, say for instance, not Naroi, but you normal summon Naroi and you need something to go to. Jax is an okay interruption, and he's also just an I am the game now button when bridging into Werewolf from there. Just being able to hit so many things, inflict double battle damage with Jax. Wonderful. Infinitrack Riverstormer is the bridge, known as rank 5, searches an Earth Machine. That's how the gears go. You are able to search Scrap Recycler with this. You can search Naroi as well too. That's something that can come up. Never did for me, but it's something. Chronomaly Vimana, my absolute goat.
That's an Omni negate, is it not?
Monster negate.
Monster
so
negate.
detach 2 materials to negate the activation of a monster effect, as well as came up in the feature match that happened in day 2 as well. Being able to reattach Xyz monsters to it as a material and buff up its attack points. This was my all-star in the extra deck this weekend. Vimana, greatest to ever do it. Nova Infinity, just being able to say no and break into a board, wonderful. Valon, usually our main go-to guy to bridge into Zeus, as well as his buddy Typhon. This guy's just, I never made Valon much, but there were some games against Branded Dracotail where he was just the cleanest way into Zeus to just try to trade for so much of the board. Platinum Gadget, second to last part of the bridge to get from the canines to the Cristrons.
So how does this bridge from Canine to Cristron exactly?
So usually you play with your canine cards so that you are able to have Noroi on the field, as well as using just any 2 of the guys to make Infinitrack Riverstormer. Use Stormer's effect to search the Scrap Recycler. Use the Noroi and the Riverstormer to summon out the Platinum Gadget from your extra deck. Use Platinum's effect, summon Scrap Recycler from your hand, send your Crystron Smiger to grave, you're cooking. Then after that as well, have Clockwork Knight. He lets you get a double send, essentially, off of Scrap Recycler, binning the Platinum Gadget with summoning back Recycler. And plus he searches Clockwork Knight, the spell card, which comes up in some matchups like Malice, Yummy, Fiendsmith. Pretty good. Then lastly, SP Little Knight, just good general option. She helps clear up your board after you go for like the Platinum Gadget bridge. But that's it for the extra deck. After my little bit of testing, I ended up deciding that I just was okay with siding the Spell Canceller package. I felt that with playing a heavier engine count, just having my board be my board was sufficient in what I needed it to do. But however, for the side deck, we ended up siding 2 Drone Lockbird, another format tax. It's freshly semi-limited, but when it's strong, it's strong. 3 copies of Charmed Corollia, just more Charmies are great. 3 copies of Lightning Storm. I like it because it has extra utility, like it helps against Vanquishal Canine, helps against Radiant, helps against Branded. Just a lot of matchups you want to see this in if you're going second. And then what I'm playing in lieu of some of the other Spell Canceller bridges is I'm playing the Canceller itself, of course, but also Cleafort Genius and Jizukiru. This is mostly here for the Blue Knight matchup. I played against it once today and he never came up. Thankfully, we won the die roll in that matchup. But Genius, his effect can activate if 2 monsters are summoned to the 2 zones he points to, with Jokul, with Lantern, with Tristaros, and you get to search a level 5 or higher machine monster, which is Sulfafnir and Sulfador, or either of these guys. So really, if you're in a game 3 situation where you're going first, Spell Cancer is just a checkmate for the few cards that can break your board, like Dark Linamore, Super Poly, things like that. And then for the last of our side deck, I have Clockwork Knight, searchable with Clockwork Knight the monster, as we mentioned, and just 3 great limited cards. Just Judgment and Called by the Grave, they're broken. Never resolved talents this weekend, but it was nice to have, and that just about wraps up the deck list.
So is there a reason you played 3 Lightning Storm instead of like the 2 Storm and the Feather, or even just throwing a Feather for like the Draco Tail matchup? Is there...
That's something I thought of. Definitely the matchup I was most worried about was Vanquishal Canine, and I definitely prefer having the option of either wiping their monsters or their back row that Lightning Storm offers. Duster definitely is nice, especially because there are some times where you could end up with Canine guys on board, which is easier than resolving on the opponent's turn, where it's a little awkward with Lightning Storm. That would just be more personal preference. I, truth be told, didn't put enough time into practicing for Richmond as I would like, but it's just where I ultimately ended up.
All right, that is the deck list. James, thank you so very much for showing that out. I know it's very difficult to keep stuff like this private for a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players, but you are a man among legends. So I am going to get up out of here. If you guys want to see more deck profiles like this, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.
See y'all around.